Well, hi everybody. Welcome to Sam's Doing Stuff. What am I doing today? Well, at the end of this video, I hope to have proper electricity run into this old barn. Yeah, so if you're new to the channel, I want to just give you an update of what we're doing here. I'm running electricity to these old barns. I've been fixing up these barns the best I can. I'll try to leave a link up here that'll show you the playlist of all that I've done to these barns so far. There's still a lot to do. But electricity, this is a big step. So we've already dug the trench, we've already run the conduit, and I put the wire through. That was the last video. And this is where we are. We're about 250 feet away from the house. It's a 300-foot run of 8-gauge copper stranded 3-wire. 3-wire means there's 2 hots, a neutral, and there's a ground. They don't count the ground, so it's really 4 wires in there, but they call it 3-wire. Don't ask me. Anyway, so we're right here. We're coming out of this conduit. This is the conduit that comes all the way down from the house. I fed this one piece of pipe at a time. I just felt that was the most guaranteed way to do it. I know you can put the string through and suck it through with a vacuum, but I fed one 10-foot section of conduit at a time onto this wire. It was a lot of work, but I think it was worth it. There were no issues, and here we are. So I'm gonna continue with that process. The next piece to go on is a 90-degree sweep to get it to go over and around the corner and over to the sub panel. So I'm gonna glue these on, and I have to feed them all the way down the wire, one piece at a time. The good news is that every time I put another section of pipe on this, there's less and less wire that I have to feed it through. Now, it came up in the comments after last video. I know that when you glue PVC together, you're supposed to do both fittings, but because I have the wire in there, I really do not want to risk getting glue on the wire. Therefore, I am only putting glue on one piece of pipe. I'm being very generous with it, and I'm making sure that I'm getting very thorough coverage. But yeah, I do realize you're supposed to do it on both. Let's just get that fitted together without falling off the ladder. Please. Come on. Come on. There it goes. Okay, we're at a 90 from there. That looks good. All right, next piece of pipe. Once again, lazy snowman, not doing anything for me. You got 2 hands, could you lend one? Come on, gotta want it. Nope, not gonna happen. I'm gonna fall off the ladder. That's what's gonna happen. I need something under that. This is a problem. Oh yeah, now we're gonna spill this all over the place. Take this down. Time's a ticking on this stuff. Can't have it like this. Okay, maybe I can lift that enough to get that on there. There we go. Okay, that's on. Good. I think it'd be a good idea to get some clamps on this thing. Now, yes, of course, I absolutely wish I could get this stuff to go behind here, but it will not fit behind these posts, so I'm gonna have to go in front of them. It's fine, it's a barn. It's funny, these clamps said they were meant for 1.25 inches, but they don't seem to make it. That'll hold. See that? 1.25 inch straps. If these are 1.25 inch straps and the ID on this pipe is 1.25 inch, then they need to change the labeling because you need to buy 1.25 inch straps for 1.25 inch conduit. All right, now we're shooting for that board right over there. So this is gonna have to go up at an angle a little bit. I think right about there is fine. Keep going. Now, another common question I was getting was, I've got direct burial wire, why am I running this through conduit? It just happened to be that the direct burial was the best deal per foot. Like I said before, if I bought it per foot at Home Depot, it was not direct burial, but I would have had to pay like $6 a foot. This was $3 a foot. Now at Home Depot, you could buy the entire 500-foot roll at like a little less than $3 a foot, but then you have to buy the whole 500-foot roll, and I only needed 300 feet. So anyway, it was the best deal, that's all. It's added protection, right? All right, let's get this. This is my inlet. This is what was powering this box. It was only powering half of it, of course, because you got 110 or 120, whatever it takes. And you know, I'm getting questions about all of our electricity. It's let's just break it down. In the box, breaks it into every box in the United States. So they break 240 into two sections of 120. Two poles, two sides, call it what you will. So you can do a single pole breaker and it will take off just one side of that 240 and give you 120. Now, it's not exactly 120. That's why you'll hear people saying 110, or they'll say 220 instead of 240 because a decrease from the pole, whatever. We're not gonna get into all that. Anyway, so it takes one side to power one of these, but you get a two-pole breaker and it'll give you 240. It'll give you the full, you know, it ties both sides together, okay? So we're coming from a 240 breaker in the house, at the service in the house, and all the way down here, 300 feet. So it's gonna power both sides of this panel, so I can run, what is it? Either I can run 6 110s or 120s, whatever you wanna call them, or I can run 4 110s or 120s and then 1 220 or 240. That's the best I can do. If you don't get it after that, you need to call an electrician. All right, so I gotta take this off because this is what was powering half of our panel, and we're gonna replace it with an on-off switch. We're gonna replace it with a disconnect because you should have a disconnect with a sub panel. Just in case you wanna work on it, you wanna be able to shut it off. If you shut it off in the house, what if somebody goes and turns it back on while you're working on it, right? So you gotta have a shut off. Obviously, there's no power down here. So I can work on this very safely. All right, we're gonna fix all this mess too. So I'm gonna disconnect everything in here and redo it. So let's just go ahead and pull all of my neutrals. Yeah, whenever you're doing one of these electrical jobs, you gotta have a flathead screwdriver, you gotta have a square, and you gotta have a Phillips. Always. Okay, so we're gonna yank this out of here, and that was our power. Yeah, there's the hot, there's the ground, and the neutral should be following with it too. Where is it? Right over here. Come on out of there. Yeah, this mess is gonna look a lot better. All right, guys, trying to give you the best look at this you can. So this is going to be my on-off switch, my disconnect. So I'm just gonna put a small piece of conduit in between these two just to keep it from hurting the wire. And we're gonna mount that somewhere around there, I think. Let's go for it. Good. So I got this here. This is my right angle that's coming down. And this has a panel on the back of it. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna use this to run my main line in, and then this top will come off, and I can run wires in to the box from there. These will be my circuits will come in. So everything can share this right here. So just gotta mark this directly above it. Not to fall. I was just about to fall, yeah. You guys don't. It's time to cut this wire. So I need to come down into this box. Then I need to come back through and into the cutoff switch. So I need at least that much. So I'm gonna go with another foot or so, about right here. And I'm cutting this wire. I'm not dealing with this anymore. I got about 30 feet, probably more. Okay, here we are. All of our conduit is hooked up. We come into the box here. This is our main wire that comes all the way from the house, comes from the 40 amp breaker in the house. So we got a black, a red, a ground, and a white. Black and red are hot. Copper is ground, white is neutral. The neutral is going to connect right here to the neutral bar. That's what this is right here, neutral bar. Then the black, red, and copper ground are going to go down through our little piece of conduit here and up into this box. That's where these three wires are right here. These are going off to the left. So the ground will get connected right here to this post. If you can see it, there's a little post at the bottom. And then the black and red are going to get connected into these two terminals. Then I ran separate wires. These are 8 gauge, just like the others. They're going back through. The ground will come off of this, just like the other. The black and red will come off of the breaker, go through the conduit up, and one side will hook to this pole, and the other side will get hooked to this pole to power both sides of the panel. And that'll be it. Oh, the ground will go up to the ground bar. That'll be it. Well, it looks good anyway, right? But does it work? Next, we've got to go in the house. All right, here we are back inside again. So I just want to show you guys what I did. I did this off camera, but we'll just go over it. You've seen me wire enough stuff down here. So we came in through here, and this is another one of those 40 or 45, 90s with the plate on it, just like in the barn. We put that there, tied the string here. I don't know if anyone will ever be able, or myself, will ever be able to pull anything else through that, but there's a string through there just in case. Anyway, we go up into the joist, and it daylights in the joist. Now, I know I've had questions about this before. When you get up into the joist, or you get up into a wall, you don't need conduit anymore. This conduit down here is just to protect it, just in case someone's working down here and they're gonna bump it or something. So, and I know it's at an angle. I had to put it at an angle because of the gas line there. So anyway, it goes over here, goes through the conduit they have to the box, and then we have a 40 amp breaker here. Hooked to the 40 amp breaker as I typically would, you know. Now this 40 amp breaker was actually here before, and I don't know if you can read right there. It says barn on it already. So best guess is they intended to do this. I mean, that's why the pipe was there in the ground anyway. The 40 amp breaker is already there, so now, moment of truth, we got to turn it on and hope it doesn't trip. Cross your fingers, everybody. Oh, that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a very good thing. All right, let's head back down to the barn and start turning stuff on. All right, if the breaker in the house didn't trip, you know, that's the first thing. You know, that's a really good sign, really good sign. So next we're going to turn the power on here. That did not trip. That's a really good sign. So I should be able to turn on my lights, which are right here. Now we turn on both outlets. Nothing tripped. We'll just throw a tester in here. Yeah. That's perfect. Of course, they're all the same, you know. They're all wired the same. Oh yeah, wonderful. And lastly, we're going to turn on our lights. Yes. Wow. What a load lifted. Hey, keep watching to the end because we're going to go talk about something else really quickly. But I just want to say, my goodness, the culmination of all of this work to get to this point, turn it on and it works. Of course it works, right? I mean, if you do it right, of course it works. It's just that this is a perfect example of not looking at the whole job, looking at every step in front of you and only doing that step and doing it perfectly. Wow. Anyway, come on, I want to show you something else. We're going to talk about something real quick. All right, you remember this area here? This is right next to our pool. You know, I did the electrical over here to supply power for the heater and the pump and the vacuum and whatnot. Anyway, did a video on that. And I had said, we're gonna hire a licensed plumber to hook the gas line up because I didn't feel comfortable doing gas line. Well, he doesn't want me to say who he is, so we'll just say really good friend. Called him, and he works in the HVAC industry, so he deals with gas, natural gas, quite a bit, and he knew what he was doing. And so he said he'd volunteer to help me and teach me. And so we ran the gas line for our pool heater here, and everything works just fine, everything tested. It really wasn't that difficult of a job. You know, natural gas is very, very dangerous. So that's why I was apprehensive. But if you know how to test it, you know, you use a spray bottle filled with a mixture of soap and water, and if it bubbles, you have a leak. And you got to know the right type of pipe dope to use. You know, you just have to know the nuances of the trade. And once you know that, you can do it. Now here's the real coup de grace for this situation. We did get a quote from the professional plumber who we trust wholeheartedly, and we know they are a very good company. And they came out and they quoted us $1,200. $1,200 to run this gas line. It took myself and my friend 3 hours. We ate pizza and we joked around and everything, but actual work, about 3 hours of work. It was $200 in pipe, and we paid him $300. So all in, we were $500. So they wanted to charge us, if it was $200 in parts, $1,000 for labor to run this pipe. Wow, what an eye-opening experience. Yeah. So the bottom line is, guys, learn how to do things. Do it yourself if you can. Do a good job. If it takes you a long time and it's backbreaking, how much would it have been to dig a trench, lay conduit, water line, run the wire, do all the wiring in the barns, hook it all up? Oh my goodness. I bet that would have been at least $10,000. I'm just guessing. Put your guess in the comments if you want to. Anyway, I appreciate you stopping by, and this is why I do so much stuff. So I will catch you next time when I'm doing more stuff. See you then.